Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the executive orders that President Joe Biden has been signing. And tomorrow, Friday, 27th January 2021, is Immigration Day. On Monday, he signed the executive order for Buy American. So, just sort of laws, executive orders that will be enforced, like laws to encourage patronage of American businesses and services. He signed Climate Day on one of the days, and there's a Health Day, to help efforts in combating the coronavirus. Okay, so let's start with what an executive order is. An executive order is power that has been granted by the U.S. Constitution to the executive. So the president can, bypass the fairly lengthy process of making laws, okay? And then he can sign executive orders that can be enforced like laws. So executive orders are not laws, but they are enforceable just like federal laws. They have the weight of federal laws, and they can be reviewed by the judiciary to make sure that the president is not overreaching his powers, and they can be struck down. Also, they can be in place until the successor, the next president decides to do away with those executive orders. Trying to implement laws in the U.S. is, it goes through you have to go through some hoops. And sometimes the president doesn't want to go through those hoops. He wants to bypass them and then implement certain things because of maybe states of emergency or what he's trying to achieve. Some of the executive orders will broaden powers of some federal agencies. Some will restrict the powers. Some will direct them, and all of that. So let's take a look at in the first bite how a bill becomes a law in the U.S. So a member of Congress will introduce a piece of legislation. This piece of legislation is known as a bill, right? And this bill will be introduced to Congress, and after many revisions and committees, if the bill is approved by majority votes, that's the House and the Senate, then it will be passed on to the president to be signed. And once the president signs it, it becomes a law. Okay, so this executive order that President Joe Biden is going to be signing on Friday is going to focus on an immediate review of the public charge rule. The public charge rule was implemented somewhere in 2019 by President Trump, and the test was simply a way to prevent people who will become at some point, who are likely to become a public charge or a burden to the U.S. government from coming into the U.S., or will prevent them from being granted green cards. All right, so the public charge test is actually a test that will make a person inadmissible because, as I said, he's likely to become a burden to the U.S. government or to the taxpayer. And so when you are applying for your green card, you would need to currently include the I-944, which is the test for declaration of self-sufficiency. And this I-944 form is a very complicated form where you are declaring assets, your resources, your credit card history, how much money, liquid money you have, what properties you have, what cash flows, what kind of public assistance you've received. It's a complicated test. Okay, so let's now discuss some more things about the public charge rule. The public charge will consider certain people. So the people who are applying based on humanitarian grounds, they are exempt from the public charge test. So people like asylees, refugees, people who have applied under the VAWA, and yeah, there's some people that the public charge rule do not apply to. And then the factors that they consider, there are a number of factors that the rule considers, you know, because it's this public charge test is a mathematical, sort of like a mathematical calculation of you know, what are the heavily weighted factors versus the negatively weighted factors, and then they will make a determination as to whether or not you are admissible. I'm sorry, I have I'm trying to retrieve the test so that we can go into details of all the factors. We just want to do a quick review of the factors, and then okay, so some of the factors, I'm not able to retrieve it, but let's just chat about it off of the top of my head. So some of the factors are age. They will look at your age, and so for example, if you are older, if you are a certain age, let's say you are 80 and you're applying for a green card, this is a negatively weighted factor. It will go against you. They are not looking for people who are likely to you know, become dependent on the government or will need some sort of assistance. The other thing is they're looking for people, employment status. They're looking for people who have full-time jobs, you know, who can work, who can cater for themselves. Okay. The other thing is, you know, your health status. They want people who are very healthy, who don't have certain conditions where they would need assistance or whatever. They're looking at your education status, people who are educated. They're looking at people who can speak English. It's just really a biased form of tests. Simply put, it's just really biased, and it's meant to keep you know, according to former President Trump, it was meant to keep people from shithole countries away, and encourage immigration from, you know, better situated countries. So it's a test to just make sure they are weeding out people who are poor, who can't contribute much to the U.S. economy, and they are rather looking for people who can contribute, you know, money and resources, and become, you know, who can assist, who can push the U.S. economy forward. Okay, so when you're applying for a green card, they usually would like you to show that you are earning 125% above the income federal poverty level, and for a family of 4, that means that you're earning above roughly $32,000 a year. Okay, so the public charge test does not apply to people who have already obtained their green cards and want to apply for citizenship. No, it's a test for people who are trying to come into the country, you know, get visas, people who are trying to extend their non-immigrant stay or change status of the type of visas they've been given, and also applies to people who are now going to make an initial application of green cards. So basically that's it. It's just going to keep people, it was meant to keep people who cannot contribute meaningfully to the U.S. economy out. And President Joe Biden is going to issue an executive order that will review the public charge rule, because it's been really burdensome, and there have been so many people that I've spoken with that were very worried, because this test also goes back, and in fact on the I-944 you will be made to declare public benefits that you have received. And so if you've received medical, any type of you know, medical government assistance, all these have exceptions. We can't go into all the exceptions, but just note that this is a broad overview. Some of these things have exceptions, but if you've received food stamps, any type of housing benefits, you've just received public assistance in the past, you would have to declare it, because these things will be checked. And once it's seen that you did receive some sort of public assistance, you are likely to be denied your green card, or denied entry into the US. So that's the public charge rule and public charge test that President Joe Biden will be reviewing. So the public charge test it's quite complicated. It's just a whole lot of mathematical calculations that the adjudicator would be looking at, and we don't know how exactly they calculate and how they arrive by their answers or cutoff points. But thankfully, this will all be a thing of the past. The public charge test may no longer be required. We're waiting to see what President Joe Biden will say for tomorrow, after he signs this executive order, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, this is just to keep you updated. But in the meantime, since he hasn't yet signed it, if you're trying to apply for any green card and adjustment of status, remember that you'll need to include the I-944 and the I-864, which is the affidavit of support. And if you need any type of U.S. immigration law assistance, just contact me. I'm your girl. My name is Akua. I'm a U.S. licensed attorney. I focus my practice on U.S. immigration and trademark law, and I can't wait to chat with you in order to help you. Call me on 240-801-7288. All right, then have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.